Hi guys. Listen, I just read this book and I think it's a brilliant, amazing book that everyone should read. It's like a love story and an action story and about people going behind each other's backs and there's death involved for people that like books with that sort of stuff in it. Anyway, and it's better than any Nicholas Sparks love story. It's better than any Hunger Games action story. I mean, it's literally the best story I've ever read. So I thought I would share my views on it with you, if you don't mind. This book, the main character is born of a virgin. And the main character is placed there by something that's greater, by God, you know, like y'all read the Greek goddess and god books of like Percy Jackson and stuff, but this god's even better than any of those false Greek gods. He's born and he grows up and lives the absolute perfect life, something that nobody in the world has ever been able to do. I mean, really think about it right now. Your life isn't perfect, okay? Mine's not perfect. You may be happy, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. He lived the perfect life, and he could do things like perform miracles and stuff, and you know, like magic tricks, kind of. You like magic tricks, right? Well, this guy could take water and turn it into wine. He could take bread and fish meant for only a few people and feed it to hundreds, thousands of people. I mean, who the heck can do that? Anyway, the main character can, right? So he lives his perfect life and never makes any mistakes. I mean, he's the perfect guy. And then anyway, we've all been stabbed in the back or all been hurt by one of our friends, right? Well, this guy's been there, done that. In fact, his best friend, whose name is Peter, denies even knowing him 3 times. I don't know about you, but if one of my friends were like, "Oh yeah, I don't know her, she's weird," I'd be kind of offended. But you know what? The main character of the story forgave him. I have a hard time forgiving people all the time. So to think that he could just go and forgive him is the biggest amazing thing I've ever seen. So this guy lives an amazing life, but something happens and he ends up dying. There's always death in a really great story, and this is the death in this story. He is actually taken, beaten up, cut open, spit on, made fun of, and nailed to a tree. A tree! I mean, I don't understand. How could someone be so cruel? But the best part about this is the main character loves everyone so much. He even forgave the people that killed him. He forgave everybody. He forgave you. He forgave me. I mean, I can't even forgive some of the people that called me stupid from 3rd grade. But he can forgive the people that cut him open and hung him to a tree. So he dies, and he's buried in a tomb, and everyone thinks, oh, end of the story. But wait, 3 days later, this guy comes out of the tomb. It's like, I don't know how to explain this miracle, but he comes out of the tomb, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's out of the tomb, he's here, holy cow. And he comes down and he promises that he's gonna go to this place called heaven, and he promises that he's going to come back down someday and take us with him, for all those who believe in him and love him and confess him to be Lord. And he talks about how we're never gonna know when he's coming, but he's coming. And that just blows my mind. I mean, over 2,000 years ago this all happened, and he's coming back? The sad part about this story is he's coming back. A lot of us know about the second coming, but there are still people in this world that don't know about the first coming. Anyway, this main character, his name is Jesus, and there's a book out there that is a love story from him to you. Yes, you, the one watching this video. It's a love story to me. It's a love story to everybody. And a lot of people forget the meaning of the book and don't even bother reading it. But aside from everything I just told you, there's great stories like about bravery and this girl named Esther, and about this guy who disobeyed God and was swallowed into a big fish. I mean, how? And then he survives, and there's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and how they didn't burn when they were put inside a burning furnace. I mean, there's so many great stories inside this one book. It's the best book you will ever read, and it'll change your life. This book is called the Bible. I guess what I'm trying to say is this book is really amazing, and you should check it out sometime if you haven't already. Maybe you don't even know what I'm talking about, and that's okay, because now you've heard it. Here's what you gotta do. Go Google the Bible. If you have a smartphone, go into the App Store and get the Bible. Go watch VeggieTales if you want. If you don't know what VeggieTales is, I'm sorry for your childhood loss. I mean, there's so many ways to learn about it now, but we must learn about the first coming before we can start planning for the second coming. And so many people in this world do not know about the first coming. Maybe you're hearing this story for the first time and you're like, oh, that's interesting. But like you said, Kinsey, you have to believe in him and love him and follow him in order to go to this place called heaven after death. You do. And there's only a few steps you have to take. It's not that hard. You have to admit and confess your sins. You have to believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord and that God raised him from the dead, and confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord. If you're having questions about this, go talk to someone like a preacher or a youth pastor or someone at a church, someone who can help you in person, because I mean, I'm just a girl on a screen right now. But really talk to someone and maybe even consider letting Jesus into your life. He's knocking at your heart's door, waiting for you to let him in. So when are you going to? Oh, and one more thing. There's this other character in the book. You've always got to have the bad guy, right? Well, this guy's Satan. He's not the coolest guy ever, but he was once an angel. But he tested God. Satan became what you may know as the devil. And yes, there's this glorious, amazing place called heaven, but there's also this terrible, horrible place called hell. But, like I said, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. And you don't have to go to that terrible place called hell. It's the Bible. Read it. Don't let Satan win. You're going to have bad days, and Satan's going to want to tackle you down and hurt you. And he's going to make sin look fun and tempting so that you'll do it. But you can't fall into his arms. We all fall short. But we're not here to please Satan. We're here to please God. I hope you enjoyed my advice on this story you should check out. It's a great story. Check it out as soon as you possibly can. Got any questions? Comment below, and I will see if I can answer them for you, or just open up the Bible and ask there. Love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.